Hi guys, my name is Mark here. I'm doing a video for you today with regards to crossover, how I got signed up for crossover, the interview process, and basically to kind of give you a brief description of what the background looks like, how they monitor you using their WorkSmart tracking tool, and basically what kind of information pops up. So let's get started. So this is their main webpage here. When you apply as a partner, so basically as an L1 customer service agent, I'm working with them as a partner. So I don't actually have any, I'm not like a contract worker. I am working directly as one of their service providers. All right, so I'm trying to log in here, but this stupid recording bar is in the way. Let me just, there we go. That was retarded. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. So if we look at the main dashboard, this kind of shows you some different productivity tools. It shows you your alignment, your focus. So basically focus would mean how intensely you are working on one application without changing like tabs, without switching to different components or things like that. So your intensity, this would be how many keyboard strokes and how many mouse clicks you do. So basically the more you type, the more you click on things, the higher your intensity is. I've never had my manager say anything about these. These things are pretty irrelevant. Some other things that you can see is the number of tickets that you solved, basically in comparison to your other coworkers. You have like a virtual office here where it shows you different people that are on your team, whether they're online or not. It's even got like a little desk here with some plants, and it shows a person sitting at the desk if they're online. If they're away, it shows them away from their desk. It's pretty cool because we have people from all over the world, like this guy's from Mexico, this guy's from Brazil, India, Romania, the US, pretty much all over Nigeria. Now, we do have a standard base salary. So as an L1 support technician, you make $15 an hour with 40 hours a week. So we work in 8-hour shifts. So that is a pretty good salary, especially for some third world countries. In the US, obviously, if you're working in Silicon Valley, where rent prices are ridiculous, you're not going to be able to live off of $15 an hour. Now, as an L2, you get up to $30 an hour, which is still a little bit better, especially for places like Nigeria. I mean, now you have to remember this $30 an hour, this is pre-tax. So you're technically responsible for paying the taxes in your area, but no one does that. I mean, especially in third world countries, no one actually takes care of their taxes, especially since you get paid through Payoneer, which is a US bank. There's actually no way for your country to even know whether you're paying taxes or not. Now, I'm not encouraging this. This is obviously illegal, but this is what everyone does. You get a prepaid debit card with your weekly, so you get paid every week with your weekly funds deposited on it, and then you just use that. So as we take a look here, we can see how many people are worldwide. There's quite a lot of people. I'm actually based in Romania here, so you can see there's 9 people in Bucharest. I don't know how accurate this is, because last time I checked, there's about 200 people from Romania. But you can kind of see the concentration of people are in countries where it's more, where the income. So basically, you see no people from France, no people from Germany because they have a higher income. Not too many people from the U.S. Given the population size, but obviously there's a ton of people from India, Africa. Europe. Now, I think there's more people from Europe than the rest of the world, due to the fact that you do have to have, it is a pretty high hiring bar, so it is pretty difficult to get hired. The interview process for me was pretty complicated. I had to do an English language test, an IQ test. I had to submit all sorts of references from my previous employment. I went to also did basically they had me install an application. They had me do search up the knowledge base and do actual customer tickets. So this was before even getting hired. They had me basically solving customer tickets, and then that got me to the final interview. If I solved the tickets correctly, I had two additional in-person interviews. In person, I mean over Skype interviews, and then they said that I was officially hired. But you're not technically even hired at this point. So after you have your final interviews, they tell you you're hired, but you're not. So basically, you have another test. You have to retake your IQ test. It's a proctored CCAT. So the first time you took the CCAT, it was unproctored. They told you not to use a calculator, but most people did. The second CCAT, it's actually proctored in the sense that you have to have two cameras. You have one on your computer monitor and one on your phone pointed at your hand so they can see what you're typing and stuff. And basically they make sure that you're not cheating. Now at this point, about 50% of the people that were in my class actually ended up failing. So even after they were officially hired, they were let go for failing that test. The way that I passed it, I don't want to say I cheated, but technically I used some references. I'll give you guys a link in the description. I used a website that actually gave you the exact test questions so you could prepare for it. Now, on Crossover website, they say that it's illegal to use pre-prep tests like this, especially ones from Criteria Corp, which is their test provider. But I ended up finding a website that had the exact same test. So I just took this test like, I don't know, 10 times to get ready for it, and then I passed pretty easily. Wasn't too difficult at all. And as you can see, I've been working here for a month. This is my 4th week. This is going to be my final week. I actually ended up finding a much better paying position locally than with Crossover. Also due to the fact that I do not like how they monitor you. So this is what I want to get into. To get paid, you use a program called WorkSmart. I don't actually have it installed in this computer, but basically what it is when you sign on in the morning, you hit play, and then it records your time in 10-minute blocks. So everything that you do the entire day, it records it on your computer. It takes webcam photos of you every 10 minutes, and it takes screenshots, 5 screenshots every 5 minutes. So if I want to look at this one 10-minute period here, I can see that basically it looks like I was installing Bitdefender or something. I don't know what I was doing here. It's doing some training videos, and this is pretty much how they monitor you. I mean, this doesn't really show me trust from the company at all. It says that they don't really trust their employees at all, which is not really endearing. Now, it's just something that I'm not comfortable with. I don't think I'll ever be comfortable with this type of monitoring, this type of looking over your shoulder. Yeah, so you get a maximum of 40 hours a week, and I apologize for that. This guy's blowing my thing up. You get a maximum of 40 hours per week, and you have to, if you work overtime, you don't get paid for it. And a lot of times they'll ask you to work overtime and you won't get paid for it. So I recommend Crossover as a job for like if you're looking for something else and you want to make some okay money while you're doing it, I recommend Crossover for that. But there's really no job security. So even after 4 weeks, they're still threatening us with being let go. I actually had a pretty ridiculous email that I want to show you guys from our managers threatening us. Where was it? Huh. Yeah, I actually don't have it on here. But basically what the gist of it was basically, oh, you guys say that you're the top 1%. How are you going to say that you're the top 1% when you can't even do this activity and this training in the time allotted? Well, there's been a bunch of issues with their training program, and they're basically blaming us for the problems that they're having with their training program. I mean, we're an entire course, an entire class, and you're blaming all of us for not completing on time. Obviously, there's something wrong with the way that you're doing training, not with your employees. So I'm pretty salty about this. I don't know, not a huge fan. Um, but the people I work with are pretty cool. It's just that the way that they do things, I'm not a huge fan. And the way, if you want to pass, if you want to pass your crossover CCAT, so this is the website that I used. It was extremely helpful. It was 45 bucks, and you get access to basically an entire you get to take the crossover exam an unlimited number of times. So they actually even have a practice test here. It kind of gives you an idea of what the questions are on the test, which is these are some of the questions that I actually have. I even remember the answer to this was this on the test. So what percentage did the cost increase? It was 250%. But yeah, so these questions are actually on the test, and these definitely helped me pass. It's definitely worth the 45 bucks. It's pretty much a guaranteed pass. Um, I'll put that link in the description also. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me message on YouTube, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, cheers, bye.